Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Magical Memories with Maddie podcast. For today's episode, we're talking about the moderate hotels on property at the Walt Disney World Resort. We have deluxe and deluxe villas to cover as well, and I am posting those almost every single day in a row on my World at Your Feet page if you'd like to check out them a little bit sooner, see what pictures look like, whatever, because I'm not really doing pictures here because it's just easier. I mean, a lot of people just listen to podcasts, so why would I put pictures? I don't see the point. But anyway, I am also a travel agent besides just this podcast host, and I would love to help you book your next vacation. You can hit me up at Maddie World at Your Feet, and you can DM me. You can head to the link in my bios on my Facebook and Instagram. My TikTok doesn't have a link in bio yet, but if you can go follow me, if I keep building those followers, I'll get there one day. I will be able to put it in my bio there, but I have a link to fill out for you for each kind of trip that I specialize in at the top. But if you have any other kind of trip that isn't up there, you can DM me and I can see what we can do. Because I can book it, probably. I'm just maybe not an expert in it. Your coffee, grab your snack. I have overnight oats. Now I have my handy dandy computer to read off all the facts for you guys. Let's get started. So, there are about 5, I would say, moderate hotels on property at Walt Disney World. They have Caribbean Beach, Port Orleans Riverside, Port Orleans French Quarter, Cornado Springs, and the cabins at Fort Wilderness, but there's a little bit more to Fort Wilderness than that. So I will talk about the entirety of Fort Wilderness, not just the cabins. I have a weird throat thing going on, so if I sound a little weird, that might be why, and that's also why I'm drinking a hot coffee, because it does help with my throat. Caribbean Beach. Let's talk about it. Caribbean Beach has a pool with a water slide. Most hotels have a pool with a water slide if they're a moderate hotel. The moderate hotels, that's the one big perk that's an upgrade kind of from the value hotels. Value hotels don't have water slides. Moderate hotels do. Same with deluxe hotels. Most of those probably also have a water slide. The other thing though, value hotels kind of have like multiple pools. And moderate hotels, I think it kind of depends on the size of the resort. Hold the fort at this old Spanish citadel with 0 entry pool, 2 slides, and water cannons. Climb a spiral staircase to the top of a turret for an 82-foot drop down the lake larger slide, which penetrates the fortress wall. A relaxing spa with the capacity for 12 allows for sweet surrender. I think that's a hot tub. Kids under 48 inches tall will love being marooned by a nearby shipwreck play area where a barrel periodically dumps a deluge, and 3 small slides delight little scallywags. So they have a little kids play area. It's like a play water ground if you've ever heard of them. They're really cool. They kind of have like a big bucket. It drops water all over you. I've seen them like everywhere. They are really fun, especially when you're a kid. And they're also just kind of really fun if you just kind of want to get like a little wet, because if you don't stay out of the big bucket splash zone, you can just kind of get your feet wet, whatever, and you don't have to like get in the pool or get splashed too bad or whatever. Old Port Royale is at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, acts as a port of entry that gives guests convenient access to check-in, concierge services, hotel amenities, and dining during their island-inspired vacation. Browse the merchandise selection at Calypso Trading Post and enjoy a meal at Centertown Market, or enjoy waterfront refreshments at the lively Banana Cabana outdoor bar and lounge. So this is the theme of like the whole like basically main building area. That's what it's called, Old Port Royale. Now, I have never stayed at Caribbean Beach, so I'm not really familiar with the infrastructure of the hotel. But I will tell you the one perk of this hotel. This is the only moderate, this is the only other hotel that isn't a deluxe that I know of, is on the Skyliner. Caribbean Beach is actually even the base, like starting point, I would say, of the Skyliner, because this is the main destination from the Skyliner. If you're coming from Art of Animation or Pop Century and you stop at Caribbean Beach, you have to get off to either go to Hollywood Studios or Epcot, because this is the main point right here where you switch between going to Hollywood or Epcot. I'm not sure the directions. I need a map. I'll show you guys a map right here. So you have to get off at Caribbean Beach regardless of where you're going. And they have like 3 different directions it goes. It's really fun. So if you're staying at Caribbean Beach, you never really have to worry about like getting off the Skyliner too much. Whereas if you stay at those 2 or Riviera, it's kind of a bit tricky. Now the Riviera is right next to Epcot, so it's no problem to get to Epcot from the Riviera. But if you're trying to go to Hollywood, you have to get off at Caribbean Beach and transfer. It is a big thing. Excuse me. The Skyliner is one of my favorite methods of transportations at the parks. We actually are going on a trip in 15 days, and so I'm really excited about that. And I hope to get you guys a scheduled episode before I go for the day that I'm going to be there, so you guys aren't missing me too much and you can wait for vlogs. I love using the Skyliner. We were staying at All Star because we couldn't get Pop Century, but it turns out it's just because we couldn't get Pop Century at a discounted rate, and so we just paid full price for Pop Century because we love the Skyliner so much. Nobody wanted to do Art of Animation. And we just love that Skyliner. We're going to Hollywood. We're going to Epcot. We might as well get access to the Skyliner. It's so much easier. It's so much simpler. The Skyliner, if you don't know, does go between those hotels that I named, of course, Hollywood and Epcot. But Epcot, it's actually the back of Epcot, the International Gateway, which is in the World Showcase area. So if you really want to ride Ratatouille on your trip and you are trying to think about the best place to stay or the best way to get to Epcot for that, because it is in the back of Epcot, you actually want to stay at a Skyliner resort, because the Skyliner lets you off and then you walk around right there and then you're right in France where the Ratatouille ride is. And so you're right there. You get that quick, easy access. If you have a more deluxe budget, you could also stay at the boardwalk, because the boardwalk is in walking distance and you walk in the same way. Or a boat, I think, even is an option. But yeah, if you have that value budget and you want to stay, if you want to ride Ratatouille like first thing in the morning, you want to beat all the lines, because I know the line gets crazy, stay at a Skyliner hotel. I'll prove it to you when I go, because we're staying at Pop Century. And like I said, Pop Century is standard rooms. Art of Animation is suites, but if you want to hear more about those, you can go check out that episode here. Now, this hotel offers standard and preferred rooms, and they may sleep either 4 or 5, depending on what kind of room you book. They have a 5th sleeper option room. This is not the only resort on property that has that, but it is one of them, which basically means it has 2 queen beds and a child-sized pull-down bed. So this is intended for a child. I don't know how big these beds are, but if you can fit as an adult on the Galactic Star Cruiser, I think you could fit in a child-sized pull-down bed. It's just probably a twin-size bed, like mine. And you can also, of course, get a king room with a king bed if you would like, which this is a great option if you're only 2 people and you only need 1 bed. So you do not have to worry about a whole bed that's not being used, you know. And I'm sure the prices are similar. Now you can also, of course, like I said, get a preferred room. The preferred rooms are always the closest rooms to the main areas. It could be Old Port Royal. It could be the Skyliner. I'm not really sure where the preferred rooms are in this resort, because like I said, I've never stayed here. You also can get a queen bed and a queen pull-down bed as an option too. It depends on the room setup. Anyway, let's move on to the Port Orleans Resort. They got Riverside and French Quarter. So once upon a time, we actually used to stay at Port Orleans more, because Disney didn't used to be as expensive as it is now, and we didn't have to budget down to a value hotel. But now we always stay in a value hotel, because the value hotels are priced at moderate hotel prices back when we used to stay at Port Orleans. So I've stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, so I have a little bit of intel that this may not have for you. So I'm going to tell you the basics, and then I'll tell you what I know. Pool with water slide. Cross the bridge to a 3+ acre hideaway with an old-fashioned swimming hole and sawmill slide. Inspired by the story of Tom Sawyer, Old Man Island even features a catch-and-release fishing hole and stories told around an evening campfire. The nearby Muddy Rivers pool bar and a hot tub provide fun for grown folks. I remember this pool, because I've been here, and it is pretty cool. The slide's pretty fun. I didn't realize it was Tom Sawyer themed. because I never knew that when I stayed here. I never knew Tom Sawyer really, but I do now. Um, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a movie. I remember that they had like a pool bar kind of area because it's like a whole like building almost. Like they had a whole building almost dining area outside. It was really cool. I don't know if it's still like that. Um, but this is a really cool pool, and I remember on this staying here before. This was many years ago. It was like 2008, I want to say. So I don't know how similar. I don't imagine they changed this hotel much, if at all. To be honest, though, and we would go to the pool near our room because this is actually one of the largest resorts on property. This one and Old Key West are really big resorts, and I'll tell you why later in a little bit when we're done talking about the basics. And so my cousins were on the trip with us, and they found this pool, and they took us over to this pool, and they showed us where to go because this, like I said, this resort is so big that you don't really need to go to the main area unless you're going to the food court because you have pools near the other areas, and that this resort is so big it has multiple bus stops, so you don't actually really have to go to the food court or anything up there unless you absolutely need to, because you can probably find a bus stop right near your room, which we of course did have a bus stop near our room because like our room could be like way over here and the main area could be like way over here, and we were totally fine with it because it wasn't a problem for us. This resort also offers the Riverside Mill food court. Look for the landmark Big Mill Wheel and find 5 scrumptious stations to satisfy your soul food cravings. On a later trip, we actually drove over to Port Orleans Riverside and ate here, and it's really fun. I recommend eating here if you're going to do that, but go to Disney Springs Park there and take the boat. I'll tell you about that in a second. Because the parking now, they're strict about parking. If you don't have a dining reservation, a mobile order, or a reservation to stay, they do not let you park at resorts anymore on property. You can't pool hop. You can't do any of it. You can't park without a valid reason. And I don't know if you can mobile order at this one. So I would use Disney transportation to get there. And because they have the boat from Disney Springs to this hotel, which I'll talk about in a brief minute, they you can get here in a different way, and the boat takes you like right to this main area because that's where the boat is, so it's really cool. But yeah, this is a great food court, and then take the boat again and go to French Quarter for dessert, and I'll tell you why when we talk about French Quarter. So like I said, this resort has the boat transportation, Disney Springs, but it also has bus transportation, of course, to the theme parks and the water parks. But here's a little difference of this hotel. So this hotel has dog-friendly accommodations. There's very few hotels on property at Walt Disney World that are dog-friendly and offer those accommodations. I've seen TikToks where people talk about the dog-friendly things, and you can look them up. I don't want to insert one. I have to credit them or whatever. I will try to share some on my story on Instagram or something. But basically, your dog is just allowed to join you in your hotel. Like, you can have your dog in your hotel room, and then you can, of course, get with the best friend pet hotel, which is where your dogs can stay during the day when you're at the parks or whatever. But you can like walk your dog around the hotel resort. They give you like a little bag. You get like a bowl to feed them, like everything you need for your dog. It's really nice, really sweet. Of course, it costs money. You have a limit of 2 dogs per room, so you can't do too many dogs. But if you do want your dog with you in your room, this is a great option. So if this is one of the hotels on property, if you need a service dog you want to stay at, because I don't know how it works if you have a service dog, but they allow your dog at the hotel with you in this hotel, regardless of service dog, I would say. So at service dog, I think they would allow at any hotel, but I don't know. Like I said, that would be something I would have to research, but I would happily research that for you if you do want to book a trip with me. But this one for sure has dog-friendly accommodations. And this is a very nice hotel, you guys. I love this hotel. We just don't stay here because it's so much more expensive than it used to be. And Port Orleans Resort has standard, preferred, and royal guest rooms. So there's a little bit of fun theming here. The standard rooms may also sleep a 5th sleeper, just like Caribbean Beach. So they have 2 queen beds and a pull-down child-size bed for the 5th sleeper. They could also, of course, have a king-size bed or just 2 queens. The royal guest rooms are two queens, but they are princess themed. Like they have little touches of princesses. Like I think the faucet is the lamp from Aladdin, and they have the rug from Aladdin as well, like on the floor, like as a rug, like as decor, and they have princesses on the wall. Like it's not like over the top themed. It does have a cool headboard, I think, that lights up, if I'm not mistaken. But it is a really cool themed resort, and so if you really in room, so if you really want to stay in a nice little princess room for your little kid, this might be the best option. And I can book all the way through 2025 if you want to book your trip. And if you book early enough in advance, you can pay off your trip every single month instead of paying it all at once. Went last minute, which can never be fun. We could start with that $200 deposit, and you could pay whatever you want to pay monthly until a month before your trip, when the entire thing is due. It's beautiful. We love it. Hit me up at Maddie World at your feet for booking that trip. All right, let's move on to French Quarter. As all moderate resorts do, it has a pool with a water slide. Now, this resort is like New Orleans themed, so it's really fun. Parade around this Mardi Gras themed pool area where King Neptune sits astride a giant sea serpent, scale scales as he's affectionately known, and slide down his tongue for a splash landing. I don't like the way they worded that. Jazz-loving gators and clamshell water features add more poolside panache, while a hot tub and the nearby Mardi Gras pool bar let the good times roll. Like I said, this is a very New Orleans themed hotel. They have the Scats Cat Club as well, which is a New Orleans style lounge with jazz music true to the great sounds of the French Quarter. I've never been here because I've never stayed at this hotel. And when I stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, if we did ever go over here, I don't think we did, I was too young to drink or go to a bar, so I've never been there. If I'm not mistaken, they have the Scats Cat like little lounge where you can get beignets. That's, I believe, where you get the Mickey-shaped beignets and a resort on property here. This used to be the only place you could get beignets on property, but now I think they have them in Magic Kingdom for a brief time because of Tiana's ride coming. I'm not really sure about that. It might just have been for Celebrate Soulfully, because they do like the Celebrate Soulfully stuff sometimes, so you never know. But yeah, that's, I believe, where you get the beignets. And then they have their own food court too, which is New Orleans themed, and I think they give you beads here, like Mardi Gras or something. It's really fun. This resort offers bus transportation to the parks and the water parks and boat transportation to Disney Springs. There are very few hotels that have the boat transportation to Disney Springs. I believe it's Riverside, French Quarter, and Old Key West. But there might be more. I think Saratoga Springs too, and we'll get there when we get there. We ain't got there yet. This resort offers standard or king rooms. Standard rooms have 2 queen beds. So this is not a super big resort. This is a much smaller resort. It's very pretty, very well themed. I want to stay here someday. It looks awesome. All right. 2 more, you guys. Cornado Springs. So if you do not have the budget to stay at a deluxe hotel, the ultimate recommendation I have for you is to stay at Cornado Springs if you have that budget, because it feels like a deluxe hotel. And I'll tell you why when we talk about it, but isn't a deluxe hotel. And that is probably thanks to its new Grandestino Tower, because I don't think it used to feel like this. I have actually stayed at Cornado Springs before, but I was like 5, and I'm 25 this year, so it was 20 years ago. And I have absolutely no memory of staying here. I kind of remember the pool. That's about it. And it's very updated since I stayed here. So I wouldn't remember anything but the pool. Because I do remember the pool. And I'll tell you why when we get to it. Okay, so this is the only moderate hotel that you will find with club level rooms. And if you get a club level room, here are your benefits. You get a personalized vacation planning services and entry to the Kronos Club. The Disney signature services are personalized vacation planning support from Disney signature services, a special resource for guests and with club access reservations. So basically, you get extra help planning your trip. But if you book with me, you should already know everything, because I will tell you everything. But if you do book a club level room, you get access to the Kronos Club. It's an exclusive space that is casual yet intimate place to rest, relax, and enjoy light refreshments during your stay. Dedicated cast members will be on hand to assist you with your vacation plans or to help you unwind after a day of adventure. So I believe the club level clubs on property of Walt Disney World have like pastries and coffee and stuff in the morning, and in the evening they have hors d'oeuvres and drinks, maybe cocktails, I'm not sure. And they are completely free to you because you paid extra to stay at a club level room. There are standard rooms that are club level rooms and some suites and the tower. If you are staying in a club level room at Cornado Springs, you are most likely staying in the Grand Destino Tower. I don't think any of the rooms not in the tower are part of that club level option because the club is, I believe, in the tower. So, like I said, they got a pool with a water slide. Worship the sun at an awesome aquatic area built around a 50-foot replica of a Mayan pyramid. I remember that pyramid. That is what I remember. Watch water stream down the steps of the massive stone structure into the lost city of Cibola pool, or plunge headlong into it on the Spitting Jaguar slide. This complex, known as the Dig Site Pool, is also home to the largest outdoor hot tub at Walt Disney World Resort with room for 22 people. Y'all, I copied and pasted all this on here. I'm just now reading some of this for like the first time. And this resort only offers bus transportation to the theme parks, water parks, and Disney Springs. Alright, we got standard rooms, suites, preferred rooms, and king rooms. Some are in the tower, some are not. If they're in the tower, they can be club level or standard. There can't be preferred. Preferred rooms have to be in the main hotel area because preferred rooms are to get you closer to the main building. Where am I at? Standard and preferred rooms have 2 queen beds, and king rooms have 1 king bed. The 1-bedroom suite has 1 king bed and 1 queen-size sleeper sofa, or 2 queens and 1 queen sleeper sofa. So there's 2 different kinds of 1-bedroom suite because one's in the tower and one is in the main hotel area. That is why there's 2 different kinds. The other suites are only in the tower. The executive suite has 1 king bed, 2 queens, and a queen-size sleeper sofa. And the deluxe suite has 1 king bed, 1 queen sleeper sofa. And the presidential suite, so many suites, has 1 king bed and 2 queens. And some of these can be club level. Most of these, I think, are club level. And if I'm not mistaken, all of the suites in the tower are club level. So, we're at our last hotel on property, Fort Wilderness. Now, Fort Wilderness is a little bit different than other hotels. The moderate part of this is the cabins. The other part is separate, and we'll talk about it when we get to it. You can rent a golf cart for $4 here. So Disney's Fort Wilderness is, in fact, the biggest resort on property, and I mean that literally. And I'll tell you why in a brief minute. But you can rent a golf cart here because it's so big. It might be more convenient for you because the bus transportation in this resort can take you to the main area, but it can be quite slow. And so if you can handle renting a golf cart, driving, have someone to drive to the golf cart, you could drive your golf cart to the main building every day and park it so you can get to the parks every day, or whatever, depending on where you're staying. That is a really dependent thing. You have to look at a map of Fort Wilderness to see if you need a golf cart, but you can rent one. It's the only resort where you can rent one. Advanced reservations are highly recommended. There's a number you have to call, but I will give you that number when you book, or I will call for you because I am your travel agent and I can do that. They have windshield, headlights, and seating for 4 people. So if you have more than 4 people, you're going to need more than one golf cart. That's the other thing. So, walking might be better if you're not with just 4 people, because those are expensive, I would assume. Anyway. Yeah, so the resort here is really big. It has bus transportation within it to get you to the main area, and then bus transportation to the parks, the water parks, whatever. This resort is in the Magic Kingdom area, though, so it does have a boat to Magic Kingdom, which is super fun. A pool with water slide, barrels of water-filled fun. I feel like I gotta talk in a southern accent. Meadow Swimming Pool features a corkscrew water slide and a whirlpool spa. Young cowpokes can even cool off in the fort-themed water play area with top-friendly slides. You can also take a dip at Wilderness Swimming Pool, the all-ages quiet pool with a whirlpool spa. That might be the best southern accent I've ever done. But I'm from the South, so I'd hope I'm good at it. This resort also has dog-friendly accommodations. It's the same as the other one. This resort is home to the Hoop-De-Doo Musical Revue, but here's the tricky thing. This resort is so big that is not really near anything in the main area. I've seen a lot of people's ultimate tip for using Disney's bus transportation to get here. It doesn't actually go there. I don't know. That they tell you to use a minivan over the Disney transportation to try to get here because it's such a long walk. The music review here is a world famous show and dinner show. You can book reservations here online as like a dining reservation. I think you have to call though, actually. And your price for it is based off of where you sit. You can see it on the map if you look up the musical review. But it's like a comedy show with a fantastic feast. And it does look like it has really good food. We talked about doing it on this trip, but you know, we decided not to. All right. So the wilderness cabins are what is moderate. They have wilderness cabins that have been there, and they have the new DVC cabins coming soon. They're not available yet, but they're the same. They just look different. 1 queen bed, 1 double-sized sleeper sofa, and 1 bunk bed. So staying here with the kiddos is really going to be fun because they get a bunk bed. But the fun thing about this resort is it's not just cabins. It's a campground. Because guess what? You can camp at Disney World. Did you know that? That you can camp at Disney World? Because you can. And camping at Disney World is cheaper than any of the hotels on property. So this isn't technically based to a value moderate or deluxe pricing for the campground because the prices vary on which campsite, of course, that you picked. But it's a campground, so it's separate. They have the premium campsite, which accommodates equipment on a concrete pad up to 18 by 60 feet. This is the part you want to listen to if you want to camp at Disney World because you need to know what campsite you need to get to accommodate your camper. This one can accommodate larger RVs, like I said, 18 by 60 feet. It has sewage hookup. They all have sewage hookup, I believe. The premium Meadow campsite accommodates equipment 18 by 60 feet with sewage hookup and proximity to the Meadow trading post. This is where you want to stay if you do not want a golf cart because if it's right by the trading post, that's most likely the main area, I assume. And then it has sewage hookup. I don't know if I said that. Full hookup campsite accommodates equipment on a concrete pad up to 10 by 50 feet with sewage hookup. There's a tent or pop-up campsite, which has room for a pop-up camper or a camper van type vehicle and up to 2 tents. Accommodates equipment on a concrete pad up to 10 by 25 feet. Like I said, pop-up. The preferred campsite is room for an RV plus a small tent. Accommodates equipment on a concrete pad up to 10 by 45 feet with sewage hookup and is close to the marina, another main area. I don't know the main areas here. I don't know what this resort is like. I've literally never been here before. But I would love this. If I ever went camping, this would be where I would camp because I could stay near the Magic Kingdom for cheaper. That is pretty much it. That's everything you need to know about the moderate hotels on property at Walt Disney World. I still can't get over the fact you can camp at Disney World. I think that's cool. I've known about it for years. It's still the coolest thing to me. Okay, that's not coming up. Final announcements. Tiana's Bayou Adventure has taken down some of its walls, so I do believe it's going to open soon. If it opens before or when I'm there, I'm going to be very mad because we are not going to Magic Kingdom. And I really tried so hard to be able to go to Magic Kingdom. I really wanted one of those after-hour events to coincide with when we go so we can go to especially Magic Kingdom. because I would so go to an after hours event on the Animal Kingdom night if that was when it was, because it closes at 6 and I would totally do that. But they wouldn't be able to go to Disney Springs, so it doesn't matter. We couldn't do 4 days. Sorry. We had to do 3, and the 3-park ticket doesn't include Magic Kingdom. I'm not that mad about it. I'll only really be mad if Tiana's Bayou Adventure is open, because I've yet to get to ride that. But I would much rather wait until Disneyland for that one, because I would so rather go to Disneyland. Yeah, I would rather go to Disneyland than go to Magic Kingdom. That's crazy, right? I just like Disneyland, like, a lot. Everything they have at Disneyland that's also Disney World is better in Disneyland. We can talk about that later when we talk about the parks. Do you guys want an episode on that? I will do an episode on that. Let me finish the hotel series and then we'll talk about it. But yeah, I have a trip in 15 days and we're staying at Pop Century on the Skyliner. We're going to Hollywood, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom. We're hoping to go to Disney Springs. I'm hoping I can go to Gideon's. We tried to go in December last year, but there was a physical line, not a walk-up, like join the waitlist kind of line, where we can come back to it later when it was time. So we were like, yeah, we're not waiting on that. We're only here for so many hours, and that's going to take up all of our time. So I'm hoping, because we can't go till after Animal Kingdom closes or whenever we're done with Animal Kingdom, that we can be in the virtual line, even if it's 4 hours. If we're in a line where they just text us when to come, fine with me. If I have to wait in a physical line, yeah. Was that the only update about Disney? Oh, the new DVC cabins are opening soon at Fort Wilderness, like I just said. I already posted about Fort Wilderness on my travel agent page, so I didn't post those pictures, but I can share them to my story for you guys, because they are posted by Disney. I believe a new Disney cruise ship has been doctored with the name. I don't even remember what the name is. I'll add it here in editing. Because I know the treasure is already like getting pretty close to being done, but it's like another one. And then I think that's it. I hope the microphone worked good for this video, because last time I held it in my hand and I could hear that I kept like messing with it and it made noise like that probably just did. So I hope that sounded better this time. I'm not going to film for a minute and then turn it off. I need to test this with my podcasts, so when I vlog, I'm good. I'm going to be using the heck out of a Fuel Rod portable charger at Disney with these microphones. They only hold 6-hour charge. But I have 2. And I have the one other head for the wind or whatever, which I'm definitely going to be using when I'm outside. That's the thing, is like, do I have 2 charged at the same time? Or do I like do one at a time? Do I just change the heads? Do I have to bring all of that? My god. This backpack, it is like a Mary Poppins bag, but it only fits so much. Anyway, yeah, stay tuned for the upcoming trip. I'm super excited, super thrilled. I can't wait to be there. I will vlog like I did last time. My mom didn't mind my vlogging. I'm quite often alone, so it's totally fine. And with the fact that we can only do 1 park per day, I don't have to like try to be done with whatever, so we can go do what she wants to do in Animal Kingdom. She was so like, let's go to Animal Kingdom. I was like, hold on. Hold on. So I can finally do Epcot like I really want to do. I can do all the attractions in the World Showcase, because I have not done them besides Grand Fiesta Tour in like the longest time, because I just never have time. Never have time. I didn't even do Canada and UK at all last time I was there. And the previous time was 2021. This has just turned into a talk session for me. It's really fun. But yeah, this is getting really long for a video that I have to edit now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. And stay tuned to next week for the deluxe hotels that I'm still working on, currently posting on my Maddie World at Your Feet page. So if you want to see what they're all about instead of watching a whole episode, you can do that. I also made a blog post. That's what I read off of for this episode. So if you'd rather read it, you can. That'll be linked below. Also, or if you just want it for later, for when you need it, it's there. It's always there. It's posted. And I will also do a blog post for deluxe hotels when it's time. My blog post I scheduled to go up at 10 a.m. on every Friday that I post an episode. So unless I note that I'm not posting an episode, you should expect a blog post on Friday. If you just want to follow the vlog, go follow the blog. Please. I'd love it. I'd appreciate it. Yeah. See you guys next week.